Good morning, everyone. Just completing our setup here. And today we'll be learning a new mindfulness anchor. I don't think we've done this one ever in our online classes. We'll be working with mindful seeing. This is where we can fixate on a pattern and generate additional self-awareness from this physical exercise. Let's begin by getting into the mindful body. And we'll begin by straightening up and getting into a posture that's strong but relaxed. Paying attention to the rise and fall of the chest with each breath. Noticing how the breath really slows down as soon as we're paying attention to breath and body. And come to the work with a sense of gratitude for these little things. How easy it is to slow down breath once we're paying attention to the body. And of course, always with compassion for when it's hard for you. If it's hard to pay attention to your breath, if it's hard to straighten your spine. Paying attention to any of the shoulds that we continually shower over ourselves, and acknowledging that they're there, but also that they don't serve a purpose for us right now. And before we begin with this new anchor, just noticing any thoughts and emotions that rise to the surface as soon as we give ourselves a little bit of attention. There might be nothing. It might be a relaxed, easy Sunday for you. Or there might be a lot that you've been sitting on like a hen all week, and now the chicks are hatching these thoughts and these emotions. Maybe you haven't had time to face or process anything, and that might happen now. I'm just sitting with the breath and thought and emotions for a couple moments in silence. Just grateful for this time we have alone with ourselves. Grateful for the clarity it can bring. for the traction and competence we're gaining with regular practice. And let's begin our new anchor now. We're going to sit with eyes open. Some people find it easier to practice with eyes closed, and some people need eyes open. It's really depends on your personality. There are some visual meditations we can do to help train focus and concentration and awareness. And so what I'd like you to do now is pick any spot that we can focus on for this practice. Maybe it's a spot on your floor or wall. Doesn't have to be like a specific pattern. Just any particular spot where you're comfortable directing your gaze right now. This is an anchor that's easier to use if you're in a public, busy space. So listening and seeing would be two anchors that are easy to pull out of your back pocket when it's a crowded place. And just rest your gaze loosely on the object where you're focusing. Noticing any patterns that start to arise. Any associations your mind makes of its own accord. Always with a sense of wonder about how it's our nature, it's our wiring to generate patterns and connections. And what a wonderful gift that is. And an important thing to be aware of is our interest, our nature's interest in finding patterns and connections. And just, being aware of that compassionately, for better or worse. For example, where do we see patterns of attack or defense thoughts in ourselves when perhaps that's not what's intended by others? Where do we over-personalize others' remarks or behavior in a way that creates suffering for ourselves? If an odd image arises, if you've created a pattern in your brain that looks maybe a little disturbing or scary, don't read anything into that. That is just our busy brains at work. Allow it to pass. Continue with your loose gaze. Always relaxing the hands, relaxing the body, releasing tension in the face and stomach. Noticing sounds in and out, and the constant flux of our breath, of our thoughts, of our feelings. With a sense of wonder at the trillions and quadrillions of neurons making all of this happen at the same time. What a busy place our minds and bodies are. What a marvelous thing my mind, body, and soul are. Let's sit in silence for a couple moments, moving between different awarenesses, different anchors, and also compassion, wonder, and gratitude, always gravitating back to these poles. It's like a pinball machine where the little ball bounces around on things. We want to be bouncing around compassion, gratitude, and wonder. And if you find you are sucked into other thoughts, attack thoughts, defense thoughts, shift your perspective. Allow those to pass and look for compassion, gratitude, wonder. Making friends with whatever funny images are arising in your wall or floor. For me, it's this stripy bag one of my students left here. Reminding ourselves that the longer we're able to sit in compassionate awareness, the more of this marvelous gift we can bring to every situation in our lives. This is one way we can train ourselves to receive the great blessings that are all around us. Again, always returning to the breath, noticing the rise and fall of my body, my torso as I breathe, the strength and straightness of my spine and hands, and yet how I can be relaxed and not tense or stiff. And taking a moment to consider our bodies with wonder. These perfect, imperfect vehicles that we are constantly criticizing and punishing. And just take a deep breath and exhale that load. Reminding ourselves it does not serve our highest and best. And making a commitment today and every day, I want to be available to myself so I can give my highest and best. we'll close today's practice with a few breaths in silence. Any thoughts or concerns that arose during our practice today, I encourage you to sit with a while longer after our class wraps up, or take 5 minutes to write them down. It never takes as long to get your thoughts out as you think it might, and better out than in. Once those thoughts are out, they will arise less often to distract us from practice and from connecting to compassion, wonder, gratitude, and our highest and best. Thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.